All right, now my favorite thing to start out with is of course finger magnets. Now, some of you know finger magnets is actually a physiological thing. It's not truly a test for suggestibility, all right? But it's a great test for resistance. So we'll do this one seated, and also there's a trick that we can do with this that I'll show you probably tomorrow that is really good for selecting your candidates. I'll probably show you tomorrow, but I want to do this one in the normal way today. Okay? So take your hands and I want you to squeeze them, interlock them, and squeeze them together nice and tight, nice and tight. That's right. And you know, any of the ladies that have a lot of rings on, I don't want you to hurt your hands, but if you can do it, squeeze them together tight. And stare at that top knuckle. Stare right there. Concentrate on it. Don't even look at me. Look at that knuckle. All right. Now, and I'm sorry. I need you to look at me. All right. In a moment. I'm sorry. Is this the first time you've done this? Yeah, maybe. In a moment. Don't do it now, but in a moment, I'm going to have you bring it up like this and stare at the space between those two fingertips. Okay? Okay, all right, now squeeze it together nice and tight. All right, 1, 2, 3, magnets. It's as if there are magnets in those fingertips and they're being drawn closer and closer. Watch that space between those fingertips and they're getting closer and closer and closer and closer together. That's right. Bring those fingertips up like that. Bring those fingertips up and look at the space between those fingertips, and they keep getting closer and closer, and they want to touch, and they're touching. That's right, and they're touching and they're being drawn. Look at that right there, like I put a vice on it, and feel it tighten. Look at the space between the fingertips, and it gets closer and closer. Don't look at me, look at the fingertips. Look, that's right, and closer and closer. All right, now most of the audience is sticking, so that's good. Okay, all right, now stop. Okay. Most people's fingers will come together because it's a physiological thing. When your hands are squeezed together nice and tight like this, and your fingers are apart, if you just relax them, they come together naturally. It's a physiological thing. Now, if they can continue to keep their fingers apart, that means that they're resisting you. And if somebody is resisting you, you don't want to work with that person. You don't want to invite them up on stage as a volunteer. You don't want to do street hypnosis with that person because they will resist you and they will not go into hypnosis. But if you do this with a group of people, you know, you say, stare at those fingertips, and those magnets are very strong and they're being pulled toward one another. As you watch that space between the fingertips, they're getting closer and closer and closer. And like I say, most people in your audience will come together, but then you go to the next step and you say, and sometimes they stick, and they stick really tight. And the harder you try to pull them apart, double bind, the harder you try to pull them apart, the more they stick. And those people just got hypnotized. And then you know who to invite up on stage or who to do your first skits with on the street. It's very easy. Okay? Does anyone have any questions about this?
Hi! See that red subscribe button below? Please click on it.